Hey everyone, my name is Mike, and this is a unedited version of our first Mythic Nythendra kill. I thought I'd start doing these videos just so people can get an idea of what exactly is going on in this fight, because I know for me, sometimes the best way to figure out how to do a fight is just to see how other people do it. I know you know all the strats, you know all the mechanics and whatnot. You just have to figure out what are they doing in this one specific spot. So I'm going to try to do these for all of the Mythic fights going forward, just so you guys can kind of get a feeling of what we did as a guild. So unfortunately, I don't remember what our eye level was when we first killed this. I don't think it was too low or too high. It was obviously just about ready to kill it, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over just a couple things in terms of our strategy for this fight, and then kind of give my overall review of the fight itself. So for positioning, we tried out a lot of things. We tried our heroic strat, which was to spread out into quadrants. We tried that, actually, that was like we tried a lot of different things, but that was like the one we tried to make work the most. But we found that it was just too difficult, because the breath would minimize. We would go from having 4 spots to 3 to 2 to 1, and that really messed up the rots, that we'd get so many people mind controlled. And so eventually what we ended up doing was scratching that, and then going to having everyone just spread out. I think it's like 5 yards or something, so you minimize the amount of people getting rot. And then we found that actually worked the best, because that way it did kind of mess up the breath, because at one point we have a breath on the left side, the right side, the back, the front, left, or whatever, and it's like different. It really minimizes the spots anyway, but just having everyone spread out, not in a specific quadrant, it really definitely helped. So that's how we did our positioning for this fight, and that's how we continue to do it. Our rots, we would always just try to stack in front of one another, just because if you stack them beside each other, it minimizes the space you have during Heart of the Swarm. I don't know if we did that for this first kill. I think we started doing that after our first kill, but that's what we do now. It's just a lot easier. It does make it so the rots get a little bit closer to the raid, but however, in the Heart of the Swarm phase, like I said, it's a lot easier to maneuver around, because you have more space to stand. So that really helped out a lot. Our stacking points for the 2 mind controls were in the back 2 legs, where Blue and Skull are in the video right now. We just called one or the other, but whichever one was more available, which didn't have rot on it, we just called it during the breath. The one thing about mind controls is that we would call out certain people, or certain people would, I guess, call out they're going to push themselves to get 10 stacks of rot so they can get mind controlled, because sometimes we only have like 4 or 5 people in a mind control. So we want to make sure that we have maybe a little bit more than that, just so that the next mind control that comes out, we don't have like 16 people mind controlled. So we always try to even out the amount of mind controls in a certain phase, just so that we never did get caught with literally the entire raid mind controlled, which is what we had a lot. That was a lot of our wipes came from that mind control being on the entire raid. In phase 2, the Heart of the Swarm phase, it's all about the bugs. That's what we wiped to the most. You have to really, really focus on not tunneling the boss. Focus on the bugs, because those will kill you. I found that usually the bugs won't spawn in the same spot twice. So sometimes they will, but for the most part, like once a bug I don't know why I say bug so weird. Once a bug disappears, I usually just go back to where I was standing on near that bug, and usually I'll be okay. But yeah, that's generally our strategy for dealing with this fight. In terms of my overall opinion of it, actually, there's one thing I need to correct from the Mythic video that a lot of people like to mention, is that there is no tail swipe, and I swear to God, it's like a Mandela effect, because I know for a fact at one point there was a tail swipe on this, and even up to the point where I was making the Mythic video, there was a tail swipe on this. So there isn't. So feel free to stand behind the boss, because there is no tail swipe. Because yeah, I didn't know that until I guess after I posted the video, and I was like, I could have swore there was one. But anyway, my overall thoughts and just little things here and there. The model for this fight, or model for the Nythendra, is really cool. I think it's a really cool model, one of the most unique ones I've seen, and I really like it. Relatively, the fight is pretty easy. It has a high potential for mess ups and wipes, mainly due to, like I said, Heart of the Swarm and the rots. But I think overall it's a good intro fight for the raid, and regardless of the difficulty, I know on normal and heroic even we had a few wipes on it, just because it's an easy fight, but it's not at the same time, if that makes sense. It's a good intro. Like for example, I thought Hellfire Assault was just way too easy, at least on normal. On normal it was a super easy fight, but on heroic we really struggled with that at first. But this fight, regardless of difficulty, it is an easy yet hard fight, which I like. The hardest part was definitely, like I said, the mind controls in phase 2. The rot after mind controls sucked a lot too. I think those were where a lot of our other wipes came from. It's just the we had so many people mind controlled at some points that we couldn't break out everyone from mind control quick enough. So that rot that came out after mind control just hit everyone and we would wipe. So that's another important part to why we try to push as many people to be mind controlled as possible, so we're not ever outnumbering who's mind controlled to who's not. Because once that rot goes out and everyone's still stacked up together, you are done for. You're dead. And just another side note that I remembered about that mind control: try your best not to put any long stuns or long slows on the raid, because that's another reason we wiped or people would die, just because someone would put like a 5-second stun or one of those, like, I don't know, 10-second slows on the mind control people, and then they would not be able to get out of where they were mind controlled, and then they would hit everyone that was hit with a rot. So you can stun people. Like, we had people who had like 2 or 3 second stuns, absolutely. But generally, if you have high DPS and you don't have that many people mind controlled, and it's kind of split amongst the raid evenly, they're only going to be mind controlled for a couple of seconds. So plan accordingly. Do not, like, really try not to do that, because, like I said, that was one of the things that I found super annoying, and I know a lot of people in my guild did as well. But yeah, and I think stuns are definitely important, because you can't interrupt every single person that's mind controlled. So definitely, like, even a shockwave. I think warrior shockwave, I play where I don't know how long it is. I think it's like 3 seconds. That's a perfect amount of time for a stun. Might even be a little bit too long, like 1 second too long, but you'll be fine just to get out of there. The slow's not the most important thing. Like, if you don't need to put a slow on someone, I wouldn't. Generally, they're not going to run too far away, but I mean, we had some people run really far away, so it's up to you. But I personally would recommend not using slows, but that's up to you. But overall, I guess it's a decent fight. I don't mind doing it. It's one of the better fights, I think, in Emerald Nightmare, and I don't mind doing it, but I'd rather sit on this fight if I can. But it's a good fight. It's a good fight. Like I said, the model's pretty cool. I really like how it's like an infested dragon. I don't think we've ever seen something along those lines before, but I just like the look and feel of this. The boss in the room itself, I think the room looks really cool. One of the better looking areas in the game. So yeah, that's the full kill of this video. I did die. I think it was from rot or something like that. So we get the kill here. There we go. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. See ya!